Yeah, so let's get started. All right, so I'm just gonna tell you all about Pandion. For those who haven't heard, we're a free online platform empowering artists as they navigate the music industry through educational resources, workshops, wellness, guidance, and direct access to experts, helping to provide a constant thread of support for music creators with a specific emphasis on uplifting music creators from underprivileged and marginalized communities. Pandion Music Foundation is pretty new. We got our 501c3 in January, and I think we launched as early as September, October last year. And we're just super excited to be here. We've already partnered with a few people like 2ND and Sam's Academy and Sweetwater. And we've had some syncathons, and Briana Cash was gracious enough to help us raise some money. And she came on as a music supervisor and did a listening session then. And and another thing is Brianna is she's such an amazing artist. She's has so many songs out, and she's gotten awards, and she's doing so much. You're your music supervisor, you are just all over the place, you're touring, you have so much going on, and so great to have you here. So Brianna is an American winning songwriter, freelance music supervisor. She's a voting member of the Academy, Recording Academy, and the Guild of Music Supervisors. Her songs have been covered by artists, which is awesome. She has had placements in TV, film, and ads. And so I just wanted to also give you the opportunity to introduce yourself as well.
Thanks, Rebecca. That was a really nice, great introduction. Yeah, so basically, Rebecca just kind of filled you in the brief elevator pitch, so to speak. But yeah, I am all over the place. I've done a bunch of different things because I've been working in music for a long time, and it's all really great, and I love it, and it fascinates me, and I've wanted to kind of do a bunch of things, which and I've been fortunate enough as an indie artist to be able to make that happen. But of course, keep working harder to do more. So that's basically me. Let's see, how would you like what Rebecca, what would you like me to talk about first, maybe? Oh, I think you're muted.
Didn't want to be so noisy here with my coffee. Can you give us a little background about yourself and what led you to this area in the business? Did you always know what you wanted to work in? Did you always know like music was a thing, or were you just wake up one day and wanted to be an artist, or maybe you grew up singing and performing when you were young? Give us your background.
Okay. Yeah. So at a very young age, I knew I wanted to do music. It basically called me. At the age of 9, I started to perform in public. My mom wanted me to join a choir, audition for it, and I got in. And I was really shy. I didn't really want to like sing in public. I was like, I don't want to do this, but she made me, and I'm glad because I actually got addicted and I started to sing in choirs, and that was when I was 9. And then junior high school, I started to play guitar and sing at church, at school. And then high school, same thing. I joined different choir groups and we would compete at state. And we also performed so I grew up in Central Florida. And so we performed at Walt Disney World, Epcot, Universal Studios. So that was a lot of fun. And they gave us Disney tickets. And as a kid, that's like the best thing ever. So I just kept doing it, doing more performing. And I knew I just like could not do music. Like I just wanted to keep doing music. I was like addicted to it. I was also very athletic and I played soccer growing up, and but I knew I wanted to go to music school, and I knew I couldn't do both. So I had to pick one. So I ended up, picking the music, and I auditioned for Berkeley and got a partial scholarship, ended up going to Berkeley. I applied at some other schools, but ended up going to Berkeley, which was, I think, the best thing because I was classically trained and going to a contemporary school like Berkeley allows you to kind of explore other genres and learn different things too, like theory and songwriting. And I wanted to really do it all. And that's, I ended up doing that and then performing at school and working and graduating. And then I stayed in the New England area. I stayed in Massachusetts, and then years later moved to LA. But before that, I always wanted, like, a dream of mine was to a live in California and b get my music in sync, like I get my music in TV and film, and so to learn about sync. And a friend of mine had a filmmaker friend, like an independent filmmaker, and he needed like music for his project, and somehow like we were talking and I ended up working on his project as both a composer, songwriter, and music supervisor. So I kind of like just forged a way to like learn, um like forged my own path and like learned about all this stuff while I was in Massachusetts. And then I ended up moving to LA, and then I volunteered for the guild. I met a bunch of people and ended up getting into the guild with credits from working on that show that ended up going on Amazon and Hulu, which was really cool, and ended up winning awards and stuff too at like film festivals. And so it just sort of kind of happened, like everything I set out to do, everything I said I wanted to do in some roundabout way, I was able to kind of dabble in it. I wouldn't say I'm like a master. We're always learning. There's always a learning curve. The business is always changing. So I swear, like every few years, you have to kind of relearn what you've thought you knew because it's kind of crazy, but keeps it interesting and fun. So I guess that's sort of like the super quick um, version of my background of it.
Cool. Um,
Yeah.
when you were classically trained, was that when you were growing up between the ages of 9 and Berkeley? Like, did you take special side, you know,
Yeah.
student
Private lessons,
private lessons?
private instructions. Yeah, because I so naturally, so I opera for some reason it just comes natural to me. Like I have a very wide range and I'm able to do it. It seems to be the easiest thing for me to do for styles, and I don't know what that is. I think people, you born with it or not, or you cultivate it more. Some things come easier for others. Everyone has their strengths, and I think for me that was a strength. And my voice teacher in high school noticed that, and I said, well, can you help me like develop this? And she's just like, yes, let's work together. And so I did. I took private instruction, and that was really helpful for me. And that's actually how I got my scholarship, was singing opera. I sang like arias in different languages and showed them my range, and that was I think what got me in the door with the scholarship. And it was great, and I did that for years. But then I wanted to kind of break out of it because I wanted to do pop music, and because I played guitar, I was like, you know, wanted to learn other styles. So
Right.
yes,
They go
yeah,
hand in hand almost just, from going from, I mean, I've heard of other people starting off classically and then going into pop, and it really helps them, you know,
for sure.
yeah, parachute off, to the pop world. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
so we have different types of people in our Zoom member today. We have people that have been making music since, forever, and then some that are just kind of, I've always loved being a musician or wanting to be a musician or starting off. So any words of advice for the people that are just starting off, as far as encouragement? And I know, I don't think age is an issue when you want to, pursue your dreams. But do you have anything that you would like to share, or any advice you would give to our community, for, to just stay, I guess, engaged, and to feel like they are supported somehow, or maybe they can find ways to feel like this is the right choice? Do you have any words of wisdom behind that, since you've been in this business and doing this for so long?
yeah. Definitely, there's no age limit for music at all. I think if you want to do something, then you can just you can just do it. I think it depends for everyone what they wanting to get in, you know, learn. If they want to songwrite, then maybe just find, you know, something like this where you get involved and you meet people
Right.
that are trying to do the same thing, and surround yourself with others that are doing what you're wanting to do. And I think that's a great way to meet your goals. Like when I wanted to learn more about sync, because even though I had worked on that, I was like, okay, this is what I did based off of what I think in my research and talking to some people, but really I didn't really have any hand holding. I sort of just jumped in it. But when I volunteered for the guild, that was really great because I started to meet people in the community. And what better way to do that than to get involved and meet the people who are working on the top shows and movies, you know, in the world, basically, the mecca of it all. So I would just try to just, I guess, don't get discouraged and don't feel like it's not possible or, you know, it's because it is. It's totally possible if you just work towards it. And it may seem like such a stretch. It may seem like so far away, but you know, one bite at a time, and that's how you finish the meal, right? I mean, that's what I would say to approach everything like in that manner.
Right. And then when you did decide to pursue, sync and music supervisor, and did you join the guild as friends of the guild, or did you join as a supervisor?
So
Um,
right away, I had submitted, but it took like a year for them to approve everything. I think because they work on a volunteer basis and they, you know, just it takes some time. There wasn't the friend portion that wasn't happening at that time. That wasn't an option. It was just you could either volunteer or you are a member. So the first year I volunteered, and then by the next year, the same time I had been a member and I got to go to the awards as a member versus volunteering the first year. So that's how it happened for me.
that's exciting. So
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, the Guild of Music Supervisors is something that you can check out online, and they are a great organization. They support and help music supervisors and um, find the rights for everybody needs an organization to to support and fight for you. Also cheer each other on and give awards. So it's an amazing group and support, and they lean on each other. They find ways to work together, and Brianna said, there's volunteering because they put on a lot of different events, and they're right now they're out there in the picket lines, helping the writers strike and the writer, for us it would be the writer strike mostly, but so I would say, if if do you have any words of wisdom with the Guild of Music Supervisors, to everyone, and how important it is? Also, if you're not a music supervisor, as I did, you can join as friends of the music supervisors, or if you want to volunteer if you're in Los Angeles. I think I got that right. If I don't know.
Yeah. Yep, I was going to say that we're always looking for people to volunteer and help out. And we have a conference coming up on August 19th. And so if you're in the area and you want to go, it's a great educational conference. I mean, there's panels for like all day long. And it's a great way to meet everyone, huge networking opportunity. And I'm sure, I'm sure that, you know, we are still looking for volunteers.
Right.
And I would say if you want to find out more about that, because I'm not involved in signing people up or anything, but probably Angela is. And I would just say go to guildofmusicsupervisors.com, and I can put it in the chat and you can find out more about it there. But yeah, you can join as a friend, and I'm not sure how much it is, or you can just sign up.
Yeah.
But if you sign up, you can go. So.
Yeah. If you don't have much money and you live in Los Angeles, you could sign up as a as a friend, online. But I'm sorry, backwards. If you live in Los Angeles, you can volunteer. If you don't live in Los Angeles, and I think you can pay a certain amount of money and become friends with the guild. I think they also offer some free Zoom workshops or free Zoom panels that you can look at. But what's
Yeah, since the pandemic that's been like hybrid, I believe you can see everything online too, either during or after.
right, that's true, then that's correct. Okay, cool. So then, so now that you're part of the guild and you're doing some supervisor work, how has your life changed as an artist? Are you finding that your challenges are the same, or are you finding that maybe it's been helpful in terms of just getting the other perspective? Do you have any thing you want to share with our group? Because we're always looking at the difference between, being an artist or being the music supervisor and talking to them, and also agencies. And what's your perspective on being a music supervisor and an artist? Like, how do you balance it? And maybe your how what have you noticed that being on the other side?
Well, I think it's on a case by case basis for anyone. It depends on what you want to do. For me, I've always wanted to write and perform and make music. So in the beginning, I wasn't thinking about sync and I wasn't thinking about like the business side of it. I was just knew I wanted to write songs and do my thing. But if you want to pitch for sync, and that's a goal of yours, then it would be helpful to you can do your research just by watching shows on TV and listening to the songs that the music that's in the content that you're wanting to do, whether it's ads, TV, or film. And you can, when you pitch your stuff, you want to make sure you reach out to the people who are working on the shows, whatever music you're doing. If you're doing hip hop and you want to pitch for those types of shows, then make sure you don't send your stuff to like music supervisors or who are working on like sports or it's actually sports would be good. Bad example, maybe like a country show or something. You want to just kind of streamline it. Um, as far as how it's impacted me as an artist, songwriter slash freelance music supervisor, I think it's helpful because having that knowledge and background as a songwriter is helpful when you're crafting songs to pitch, and you're able to, I just think, have a better understanding of their needs, and you want to make it easy for them and give them what they need and what they're looking for. And I think it's a good thing to be able to do it all. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that as time goes on, I think people are looking for people who can kind of do a little bit of everything because it kind of makes it easier. And the more you know and the more you can do, I think is just beneficial to yourself.
Right, absolutely. And so you're still writing music and you're still songwriting and do you collaborate with other people pretty much, or is
For
it?
sure, yeah.
So
Co-writing is great. Yeah, I think it's a
yeah.
great thing to do.
So when you're doing this now with licensing in mind, what is your approach and how is it different than when you're songwriting before music licensing?
I think more like that now when I'm writing something. Don't know if that's great or not, but it's something that is just sort of a default thing for me now. I'm like, okay, this could be good for something, and when you sit down to write, you don't always know what you're going to write about unless you have a brief or you're told like write something that sounds like this for this project because this is what we're looking for. I think, but as you're doing that, you might, a great thing to do too is to make like maybe another version or something so that you have one that if it's artsy or a longer intro or a longer song, you can just release it as like the extended version or a different version. And then have another streamlined version that is just like A, B, and C, concise for a pitch or for, a placement, like the opportunity. Um, so there's always, yeah, that's something I think of when I'm writing too now.
Right, because like I think a lot of us are artists still, and we are writing music with licensing in mind, or we are writing to a brief. So like on one hand, like let's say if you're an artist and you're thinking about sync and you're writing the song, do you do you have a foresight in still keeping it true to yourself and also knowing that maybe down the line you'll release it as part of your collection as an artist?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't work out. Most of the time, it's like going for an audition, the likelihood of you getting it is rare, but you go for that, you hope, but you also want to make it your own as an artist. You want to make it sound like your own or have a piece of yourself in it where, it goes back to you so that you can use it for something later, or continue to pitch it, and or release it.
Right,
So
because if you wrote to a brief once and it didn't make it, it doesn't mean it won't make it for a different brief, because obviously that was an ask, right? So it might come up
yeah.
again.
Oh
Right,
yeah, for sure. And
right,
trends, things come up all the time and you never know. So it's not a bad thing.
right.
Yeah.
So I know that sometimes I've been hearing more lately from agencies and music supervisors that they don't, you know, do we talk about trends or do we not talk about trends? And sometimes they say, well, if you try to follow a trend, you're chasing something that's going to change right away. But there are trends, and people
There
still,
are.
and then some things are still working. So, what's your perspective on trends?
Yeah, well, that's true. I see both sides, to be honest. Yeah, if you chase something, you chase something. It's like fashion. Bell-bottom jeans are in and then they're not. But there's always a need for it because there could be a period piece, a period show in the 60s, and then they need songs like that. Like what would you listen to back then? They need that. And if you have that, you have the advantage. So I say whatever you do best, you should just stick to what you do and just do it and just make all kinds of songs that you can reasonably like do well and
Right.
have everything ready to go, well produced. Demos, I would say, are not a great idea. Usually, music supervisors don't have time to critique your music and say, oh, this is great, but, you know, it needs to be mixed and mastered, that kind of thing.
So it's almost like music creator needs to think about maybe having a finished song, possibly using it as for an artist brand, either with yourself or a collaborator, and
Hmm.
have it ready for pitching, but also maybe so that it's could be used in any kind of era. So it's a lot. It's as a songwriter, it's like you also want to like sometimes just write, what you're feeling
Yeah.
and get and on the nose and so it's this fun kind of complicated balance that we do, right, as music creators. Um,
Yeah. And after all that, I have to say, like, you should just, I'd say, throw out the rules, throw out everything I just said, and just do what you want to do. Because as a creator, as an artist, I mean, we didn't get into it for like the business side and the side of, trying to give people what they want for a specific project. I mean, you write it because it's coming to you. It's sort of like a thing that you want to write about, that you want to create and make art. So I say just do that and do that really well. And if there's a need, great. I say it's all like helpful to know all of this, but at the end of the day, a good song is a good song, and there may be a place for it, no matter what genre, trend, any of that.
so
Just do what
you're
you do well.
right, do it
So,
well. As a
yeah.
freelance music supervisor, how do you, I know you're already hooked up with the world, everyone knows who you are, but like for somebody starting off, how would they navigate, if they wanted to become a music supervisor, how would they, I know the Guild is a great place, but would you recommend, you know, if somebody wanted to become and learn to be a music supervisor, to study with the Guild or partner up with somebody and eventually, what are your thoughts on working as a music supervisor with a group that's, ongoing versus what you're doing, which is freelance? And as a freelance supervisor, is it easy to just jump around and, work with different groups like that, whatever is needed? And how do you follow your nose that way? Like, do you go with the ask or do you go and approach? What is your method? I know that's like three questions in one. Sorry.
Yeah, try to remember the
You
first
give,
part.
you could just give us a general, like, so one of them is like
Yeah.
music supervisor, starting off how to begin, and then also freelance or not, how do you do it yourself? Yeah.
So freelance, I am freelance because I'm just not with like Netflix or a corporation. I'm just freelance. And I started that way. I've kind of remained that way because I kind of like to pick and choose what I'm doing. And also, I was first an artist and songwriter, and that's really my main thing. The freelance music supervision came about like in that roundabout way. Like I said, I want to get my stuff in content. And then I ended up doing that and learning that way and doing, it's some interesting way that it happened for me. And so it kind of just stuck with me in that way. I think it'd be a great idea, like to, if you want, actually, we have mentorship sessions at the event that's coming up in August. They asked me to be a mentor, and I'm going to do it. I did it last year, was their first year, and I'll do it again this year. So I can then do a one-on-one with people and tell them about my experiences and what I think, based on what they want to do. I can try to help answer their questions and maybe guide them, steer them in a direction. But I'd say if you want to do, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to have like a big workload and be a full-time music supervisor and just do this all the time and learn everything you can, then I would try to, yeah, become an assistant maybe of one of the supervisors who is like working on like 13 shows at once, something where they need the help, and they can maybe have someone there help guide them, learn, train them, that kind of thing. So internships, I think reaching out to people at the guild can help with that sort of thing. And so that was the first part of your multi-part question, right? And
I
the
think,
the
yeah, I think
freelance.
that you kind of generally answered most of it, because I feel like we got an idea already where you're at as your freelance music supervisor, and then how somebody can approach it if they wanted. Um,
Yeah.
I think for a lot of us in our community, we're trying to figure out like we're okay, we're music creators, we're musicians. What do we want? We want to be heard, we want to share our music, we want to collaborate, we want to, you know, we want to make great music. And then also too, there's that other side, the business side, that we're all jumping into because we're learning together, you know, through mentors and workshops on how to license, how to get our own songs ready for licensing. And so
Hmm.
there's a lot that we're already doing as music creators. And so we're learning on the job. And so it's almost like I guess the next step is, if they wanted to go full force, would be agency, and then, music supervisor or something, or even going further, which would be going with, studio, or with a group or something. But yeah, it's a cool concept to continue down this road of music, the music business, I guess. And I think I was talking to Sonnet, who, if you don't know, all of you in the group, Sonnet is the co-founder of 2Indie, and they are coaches and mentors, and we partner with them. And Brianna knows Sonnet, and I think we were talking like a few months ago online about how we're we're all feeling like we're becoming the music industry this way. We're kind of becoming a hybrid of what the music industry might look like in the future, as
Hmm.
as we're working online and things are moving fast into, you know, individual kind of networks rather than one big, hub of distribution and like A&R. And then another thing is like with publishing and A&R, that's another thing, is like we're our own, representative. So, and also too, sometimes we're our own publisher. So, and then we might have a song that gets into an agency, and then the publisher becomes, I mean, the agency becomes part publisher. It's like it's the hybrid of everything, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
right.
And
So
I think as time goes on, I mean, I think it's good to be an indie artist and to kind of definitely know about all these things for sure. You want to understand all of this, and there's a lot to know and understand. Uh, but I think too, when you're when you're pitching to a lot of people, a lot of sync music supervisors, they are looking for one stop, and that basically means like easy, clearable music. Uh, so not a ton of writers, that you do own the publishing or you do own the rights. Um, and so it's good. It's not a bad thing to kind of do a little bit of everything and do it yourself.
Right. The one stop is like that golden ticket if you do it right
Mhm.
and you network right and then you're in. So then it's so easy for those music supervisors like yourself. Right? I mean not easy, but
Yeah,
it's a one step easier, I think.
yeah, easier in that sense, but I don't think it's ever easy because you're just in a giant ocean of other people too, trying to do it. But I think the more you know, the more you're going, the more connections you make. I think it gets easier in that, right? But it takes a long time, and this doesn't happen overnight. It takes like years to kind of build this and get to know people and even build up your catalog and the trust and just so many things factor in.
Right. I'm going to ask one more question and then we could open it up to the chat and also people who raise their hand for questions. When you are looking for music, do you like to go through agencies or do you like to go through individual artists or do you ever go onto Spotify or Apple and try to find or Instagram and try to find music that way? And if you do it that way, is it kind of like hit or miss? Like you don't know if they know anything about licensing, so you have to like walk them through it. So I know those are two questions, but what's your favorite way of finding music?
Yeah, D, all of the above. I've done it all. Spotify, it's a love-hate thing. As songwriters, some of you, as you all know, we love Spotify, we hate Spotify for
Right,
obvious reasons, but it's a great tool for discovery. It's like a kid in a candy store. I mean, you hear one song and then it's like, if you like this, you're gonna like this. And I could sit there all day and listen to Spotify. It's great. And I have discovered people or, found things that way because you type in whatever you're looking for and you've got like a 1,200 results of something that you're actually wanting to what you need at that moment. So that's a great way. Writing to people, reaching out to people individually. People send me their stuff and I'm always open to have people send me like disco links, not attachments, but like links that don't expire, so that I can listen and then download it if I want, because I need it, or go back to it later. I don't need it now, but maybe 6 months I might need it, or want to hear it then. Um, so yeah, all of those ways that you mentioned, I've definitely gone about listening and acquiring music that way.
that's great. I know that there was one supervisor we talked to that says he likes to go out. He still likes to go out to see bands play, and that's how he finds
Yeah.
his discoveries. So yeah, so I guess if somebody okay, so Pandion Music Foundation, once a month we'd host a music supervisor at the end of the month, and we don't have a listening session, but we allow that the group to submit one song, and that song is if whoever shows up that day. And that's not with you, Brianna, but just want you to know that we have a collection of really great songs that we've gotten from our community. We've been collecting, so we have that available if you ever want to look at that. We'll give you the disco link.
Yeah. Sure, sure.
Yeah, and that's another might could possibly be another fun way to discover some great music. And so we're going to open it up to some questions now. Should we go
I
with
think I
the
saw
hands raising first and then the chat? If anyone
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
questions right now, we could look at that. Raise your hand if you have something right now. If not, we can go in the chat and look at what's been asked already.
Everyone's been so shy today.
Carly, do you want to read anything from the chat?
Yeah, sure. So we have two questions in the chat. Oh, we have Emma that's just raised her hand actually. Should we go with Emma?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let
Hi,
me.
Emma.
Hey, Brianna. I just wanted to ask about any projects you're working on. Can you share, or is
I
it
will.
secret?
Yeah, no, I can share. There is one I started before the strike, and early stages. So I am that's on hold right now, obviously, but I am listening for stuff like that. It's a little bit, it's about Italy and like mafia theme and that kind of stuff. So I guess I mean, I could listen to stuff now. So I don't know if you have any. Actually, I could listen to all music for that. Like, so Rebecca, when you send me that disco link, I mean, I'll just listen to those songs. It's, to be honest, it's not anything specific just yet. It's sort of like wide open right now, but that's something that's like on the back burner at this point. So
How great. That's very generous of you. Do you have anything else, Emma?
No, happy to be here. Thanks, Brianna.
Thank you for being
yeah,
here.
sure. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
Janet, did you want to ask in person? By the way, hi.
Sure. Hey,
there she
how
is.
are y'all? So great to be here with all of you. My question is a little bit about I'm co-writing so much, and sometimes a song starts out one way, and then we're like, oh, maybe you want this to be an artist song, or it wants to go towards sync, or I just wondered if you have any stories about your co-writing and trying to decide where does this song want to go? I usually just follow the song. Song's gonna tell you. If you had any
Yeah.
advice for that.
Yeah, I'd say that. Also, it depends. Sometimes it depends on who you're writing with and how many people, right? You sort of, when you do group things, that sometimes that has a huge impact on what happens and where it goes. But yeah, I have started to write like a pop song with people, and then it turns out to be like a drinking song, like a country drinking song. And you're just like, well, I guess that's what we're gonna write today. We talk about trucks and whiskey, and that's what we're gonna do. And it turns out great. Whatever, it just go with the flow. So I don't know. I hope that's helpful. I'd say what you said is that's what I would do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Janet. We have one more question in the chat, and it's from Emmanuel. Emmanuel, did you want to ask in person? If not, I can read it out. Ask for mute and see if they're here. No, okay, I'll read it out. So Emmanuel's asking, I've always wanted to know, are there sync licensing opportunities for music whose lyrics are deeply rooted in faith, like music? So I would assume maybe church type music, Christian music.
Probably.
Probably.
I haven't. Yeah, I think there's a need for everything, to be honest. Yes, I would just say yes to that. I'm not working on anything that I would be looking for anything like that, but yes,
Okay,
to your question.
excellent. And anybody else, please raise your hand.
I think Janet mentioned something about your that you do a lot of charity work, Brianna. Do you want to elaborate with that a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely have over the years for different organizations, and still do, and help out when I can, educational organizations, especially now too. Years ago, one of my songs off my first album, "Take a Walk with Me," I donated the licensing for that, the use of that song, forever, basically, to Susan G. Komen for the Cure, for their walks and races, and I did 3 PSAs for them, to help raise money. And I've played at hospitals, and I've donated a Christmas song will use, for kids with cancer around the holidays that are in hospitals. They can't be home. It was I'm trying to think of the name of it. Music Magic Project. Blanking on the name. It's still going on if any of you are like interested in that. But if you have Christmas music, they have like a CD every year, and they do like a package, and then they make this gift pack and they give it to the children. So all kinds of things. No Kid Hungry. Humane Society, like just a bunch of things over the years.
Amazing. An angel.
I think it's important to give back and do those things. And people have definitely helped me out over the years, and miracles and earthly angels. So I really believe in paying it forward. So yes, and I'm always interested in doing more. So let me know if anyone knows of anything or needs someone to do something. I'm always wanting to do that and help.
Cool. That's great. I have a question regarding collaboration. So I know that
Yeah.
all of us, like Janet just mentioned a second ago, that she's collaborating with everyone right now.
Mhm. It's a
So
really good thing to do, I think.
a lot of us are
Yeah.
collaborating. I know Eddie, and I want to collaborate with a lot of you for sure at some point. Um, I when you're col- when you're how do you begin your collaboration? Do you wait till somebody asks you that and then you think about it, or do you pursue someone, or both? Or does
Oh,
somebody or does somebody else kind of hook you up together like a
definitely. Yeah, all of those things. I have found people through other people, met them in person, gone to shows, Instagram. Publishers have put me in touch with their artists. People have approached me. I mean, basically everything you mentioned, like every which way, it's happened that way for me. And as a songwriter, I write in all genres. I don't think there's a genre other than like I'm doing a little bit of hip hop now too under a different project, like artist project name. But yeah, I pretty much written in all genres too, co-writing. Um, so I love that because like I said, like a great song like is a great song at the end of the day, right? So we just hope to write good songs with other people and have it be like great at the end, meaning like production wise and
right?
whatever it can
So
be. So yeah.
okay, so you just brought up another thing that we all have to deal with all the time as well. Like Janet said, they start a song and then who's going to be the artist, who's going to be the singer, where the song is going to take you this direction. Um, in a case like that, I'm pretty sure that with you, if somebody puts you together, it's already intentional. But once in a while, maybe it might be open. Do you ever think about that? And are you usually the artist singing, and would it go under your artist brand? Is one question. And then I have another moniker question after that.
Okay, yes. It helps to have a plan. It helps to have like a path. Like definitely, I would say if you can start that way as organized as you can, that's great. So you say you want to write the song and maybe have me sing it or someone else sing it. It really depends on the song. Like I would say who's ever would be better at singing something in that genre that would be best for that song because everyone has their strengths. I would go with whomever's going to do their role best, you know. Um because personally I don't care if I sing it or if someone else does. I want the song to be as good as it can be. So however that happens, even if you have to hire someone, like say you need like some gospel, you need gospel choir in the background or something, I would hire that out. I would hire a saxophone player. I'm not going to try to like do that. I'm going to, have pay people and have people do what they do best on it to make it as best as it can be. And again, if you're writing for Sync and you try to pitch it for that project, great. And if not, you can also have a discussion maybe at the same time or later and be like, what do we do with this now? Should we release it or kind of hang on to it and just pitch it? So I think it depends on the team you work with. Having a great team is good because then, uh, you know, people who are easygoing is always best,
Easygoing
or
is always
amenable.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have like a hand, like one or two or a handful of people that's your go-to for your artist collaboration kind of brand thing?
It's
Or,
been, I mean, it's been different over the years. The people I've worked with over the years, though, I pretty much still like work with them. It might not be all the time, but like they're there. And I know when something comes up, I know I can count on them or call them back, to do something. So it really just depends. Like right now, I've been writing stuff that's been totally different than what I normally do. And so I'm working with a brand new group, but so far it's been awesome. And, I'd like to bring them in on other stuff as well, like the producer, the engineer, bring them in on like some new stuff. And it brings like a fresh take, I think, to the next thing. So I'm always sort of like collecting people, I guess, like so to speak, and you sort of just build on that.
If one of us wants to go and listen to your music, we could find you on Spotify and Apple. Not that we want to mention Spotify too much, but
I
you know,
know.
very helpful. We can,
Yeah,
and then
all of those places.
if we scope from the latest to the earliest, if we start at the latest, would some of those songs have been written for licensing with in mind that you ended up releasing that we might listen to?
Which ones do you mean, the when I
Well,
first started, or like?
no, no, some of the more later ones, like the latest stuff you've released,
Oh,
some of that be
hmm.
also part that you had in mind for licensing. And I'm asking because a lot of us are doing, like I said, we're kind of engaged in both right now. So, when we are releasing, there's some of us that are artists that have been artists around for a while, and then some of us that started writing for Sync that are figuring out how to release as a group or as an individual. And so it would be nice to see someone like you who's, you know, you've been doing it all, and to listen to some of your songs with that in mind. Like the earlier stuff was Briana just on her own and just doing her artist stuff, and then Briana later, are you the one, is that music part of it for licensing, or was it intentionally for artists, I guess is my.
I see. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so my first album, I did it just to do it. That's all I want, and that's like an organic pop folky Americana type uh CD, like that, my first CD that I released in 2008. But off of that CD was that one song that ended up going to Susan G. Komen. So, but I didn't write it for that. I didn't have that in mind. It just like happened like that. So maybe, I don't know if that's helpful, but that was just me doing my artist thing. But since then, I did two other versions of that song. I did an acoustic version and then a revisited version of Take a Walk with Me that has like strings and this whole other production side to it. So it might be cool to like listen to those three versions of it, just to see how it's evolved and how it could still be used in sync, but in different ways, like maybe in like a loungy jazz, like upscale type scene versus just like out there, like walking and race for the race and stuff. It still has this, it's still like the song, but it's just different. And then there was a song called Make It Count that I co-wrote with Dennis. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Coronel. Oh my gosh, he. I think you know him too, though. But he gets placements all the time, and we actually did write it specifically to place it. And we wrote it during the pandemic, and a year later, it was used in a Dove ad campaign called like "Detox Your Feed." What was the other thing? It was like hashtag detox your feed. Um, Something else, but you can Google it. And that was really cool and unexpected. It just like happened. He was just like, hey, this happened. Oh, he tagged me. He tagged me, and that's how I found out. I didn't even like know. I woke up and saw that, so it was a pretty good day. So that was we wrote that for that, and it happened. And what else? A country song I wrote on my Americana CD, which I would say like those CDs after my first CD, I did have in mind. I was like, I want to do these songs, but I'd like to also get them placed in something. And over the years that did happen. And sometimes it happened like right away with that one song. And other times it happens 5, 10 years later or whatever it is, so don't let that deter you either. Like the age of a song, that really doesn't matter, because when it finds a home, it finds a home, So
Wow.
hopefully that's.
Yeah, this is like exactly this kind of stuff that we all need to hear, because we're all dealing
Oh,
with those decisions all the time, and we're all collaborating, and we're having to jump in and figure out, so this is so helpful coming from someone like you who's
good.
the whole spectrum, and thank you so much. That's just amazing. So I'm gonna just ask one more time, any last minute questions before we start wrapping it up?
We have one from Carol. Carol, did you want to ask in person, or do you want me to read it out? I'll ask you to unmute and see.
I see it here in the chat.
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
You-
think she's gonna unmute, so yes, please. Yeah, do you feel that you have more freedom to write different genres because you're an indie artist?
Yes, I do actually. I don't want to say major labels are bad, but I don't think I think you're better off. I mean, this is my opinion, but I think you're better off being indie because you do have full reign of everything. You have full control. You can do as you please. You can do what you want. And you don't really need, I don't think, the help of a major nowadays. It's been actually a while that you haven't really needed them. Everything you can do on your own, especially if you want to have a great team behind you too. You can make it happen. And like I said, I think more people, more supervisors now too are turning to indies because they're A, just as good, B, more affordable, will work with budgets. It just, yeah, I think that it's, for me, it's better. I think I have a lot more freedom being indie.
Excellent.
Amazing. We love you, Briana. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here with
Thank
us
you.
today. Thank you for your generosity and your sharing your whole life and your love for music. And it's great to hear, how you started all the way to where you're at now, and just gives us so much, to, I don't know, look forward to as music creators, as artists, and even maybe someday some of us as supervisors, if that's what,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
thank you. And
awesome.
I personally look forward to seeing you soon. And I'm happy that you're going to be back. And I'm leaving and I'll be back like in a month. But
Okay.
yeah, so, oh yes, are you doing the Ask Me Anything on Facebook? I don't know if we had agreed to that or not.
Yeah, I can do it.
So
It, uh,
it's 48 hours, and we put you on Facebook and in our group format, and people can still ask you questions on that, and you can answer on that platform. Great. So then that's amazing that you're going to say yes to that. And then are you okay with us posting your replay? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
fine by me.
So then anybody in this group, if you know somebody that wants to listen again or catch the beginning if you missed the beginning, you can rewatch on PandionMusicFoundation.org, and we have replays on there. And thank you, Briana, again. And
Thanks
everyone,
for having me.
have a beautiful day and many, many blessings and love to y'all. Go make some more music.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.